Lynn Murdoch, and I am your reader for today. And I get to say, we still can say Happy New Year. So happy, happy brand new baby year.
New baby year.
The theme for 2024 and for January is a grand rising. Today, it's a new dawn. Michael Singer offers his spiritual insight on this topic. The spiritual journey is one of constant transformation. In order to grow, you must give up the struggle to remain the same and learn to embrace change at all times. And Ernest Holmes offers this spiritual insight. Every desire you have for betterment in life is some echo from deep within, which forever proclaims, "Behold, I make all things new." And let us affirm together. I start each day with a grand rising. And now I introduce Reverend Dr. Kathleen Johnson.
It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new way, and I'm feeling good. That's the name of the talk.
That's right. A grand rising. It's a new dawn. It's a new dawn. So when I was little, I spent all night wondering one time what happened to the sun. Stayed up all night, and then it dawned on me.
Ba-dum-bum.
So I spent, well, no, we already did that. So there. So I'd like to begin with a story. This is a true story. It's a true story of three young black men who were youth. They were youth, and they shared a room in a homeless shelter in Oklahoma City some time ago. The three of them immediately formed their own little mini community of support, friendship, and they found they had something in common. They had a very deep and abiding relationship with the divine. And so to continue to nurture that relationship with optimism, with just a sense of newness, they began a spiritual practice. They leaned into their spiritual practice. And because they did this, they were able to navigate all of the complicated social services that were necessary to get their needs met during that time of their lives. And so some of the spiritual practices that they used to manage their challenges was they created vision boards. They created vision boards not only for themselves, but they had one great big huge vision board that was on their door that said Grand Rising, which I'll deal with in just a moment. They also used oracle cards. They had some oracle cards that somebody had given them and read them and used them for spiritual wisdom. And they also used affirmations. They had learned affirmations, and they decided they would do this to keep their spirits high from day to day. And then one of them discovered that there was a greeting popular among certain black cultures, which is Grand Rising. Instead of good morning, Grand Rising. And so they explained to the staff the reason why they were doing that, and that was the big poster that was on their door, Grand Rising. They explained to the staff that they wanted to do something besides good morning because the word morning was kind of associated with mourning, grieving. They wanted something that was more uplifting. So Grand Rising did it for them. And so every day they said to the staff, we want to experience a grand rising. So this went on for some time. And then soon, one of them was reunited with his family. And a little bit later, the two of them took off on an adventure for California and stayed in touch with the staff. And to this day, the staff has found that these young men are thriving. So you can see now that this story is a story that has inspired the theme for this year, for this entire year, Grand Rising. And I'm feeling God bumps as I'm saying it. So in the aftermath of what we've all experienced, the pandemic, I don't know about you, but there was a lot of time for self-reflection for me. You know, all that time at home, away from other people. And probably for many of us, a time for self-reflection, like what really matters in our lives, and how are we going to dedicate our lives? And so I am going to claim that 2024 is an opportunity then to really put the pedal to the metal, to put a full commitment of myself, and to encourage all of us to do that as well, a recommitment to a grand rising, a rising in consciousness, a conscious daily recommitment. And so we can do that by just, when we first wake up, which is what I did today, I said to Dan, grand rising. And I said to myself, grand rising. And I was feeling it, and it feels so good. And it reminds me I'm here to rise up, not only up out of my bed and get about my day, but to take responsibility for a rising in my consciousness as well. So let us then rededicate dedicate this year, 2024, to be the year of the grand rising, not only of us individually, but as our spiritual community and as all of humanity, because we're all interconnected. Our wonderful work supports everyone else on the planet. So I love that song, Nicole Simone's song, Feeling Good. And Sharon just did one of the lines of it. All of our talks this month are based on it. Today it's a new dawn. Next week it's a new day. The week after that it's a new life. And week number 4 is feeling good. And I love that because it's a reminder that we can take responsibility for how we feel. Each and every day, we can take responsibility for our feelings, and we can choose optimism. We can choose to bring our divine selves into each and every day. So what I'm going to focus on today is 3 different things to support this idea of it's a new dawn, a fresh opportunity to, number 1, start anew, number 2, use the power of intention, and number 3, rededicate ourselves to do our part to co-create a whole new world. A whole new world. That works for all, by the way. We'll add that onto it. Okay. So it's time to break out in song, right? Anytime you want to break out in song, it's okay. I know. So let's share this beautiful quote by Ernest Holmes. He says, "We should learn to control our thought processes and bring them into line with reality." And he's talking about ultimate reality, the presence of the divine. Thought, he says, should tend more and more toward an affirmative attitude of the mind that is positive, stable, and above all else, toward a real unity with spirit that is already complete and perfect. So our unity with spirit is given. It's a given. It's just awakening to that, which is our part. So start anew. With each new dawn, then, we have a choice. We can either start thinking about our to-do list and get ourselves overwhelmed, or we can remember that our true and first responsibility is to show up as our divine selves. And then all else is added. Show up as our divine selves. And our world is not designed to remind us of that, is it? Our culture is the to-do lists, accomplishments, and all of those other things. Thankfully, we have each other. We have spiritual community. We have each other to remember why we are here, that our connection with the divine is where it all begins. So our classes, our workshops, our circles, our events are designed to connect us with our true selves. And our theme for 2024, Grand Rising, encourages us to use simple practices to continue to align ourselves with who we are and with that divine guidance that's present for us, so that we can show up each and every day as a beneficial presence on the planet. So beginning each day then by saying Grand Rising, we are reminded what? Rise out of our beds with a smile, rise in consciousness, and also to bring that vibration into our day and throughout the day. So it's not just in the morning and then it's done, but it's something that continues throughout the day. So that's start anew. Use the power of intention. How many people are aware of The Power of Intention, the book by Wayne Dyer, and maybe have even read it? Yeah. Intention is a way in which we exercise our divine nature of creation. Intention is not just for the beginning of the day. It's actually for something you can use throughout the day with each and everything that shows up. Each and every activity. Before each activity, you can set an intention and bring that creative energy, that what it is you choose to experience and express, into each and every moment. Or each and every activity, let's say, because you don't want to be just doing it all day long. But before each activity, you can bring that intention into it and create a whole different experience. What I notice is, it's January and it's time for New Year's resolutions. I notice that my Pilates and yoga classes become very full and crowded. And then, as the year goes on, it becomes sparser and sparser. New Year's resolutions. I actually have learned to really appreciate New Year's intentions, because New Year's intentions are focused on developing my own inner world, showing up more and more as my divinity. So last year, my intention was integrity, and I created a vision board with my intention on it. I think Dan's there it is, with my intention on it. And I defined the word integrity. I listed the spiritual practices to support it. You can see it in different places like that. Some images that represent integrity. I actually looked that up online and said, okay, what are some images that represent integrity? So the ones that you see up there, do that. So that's on my dressing table. So as I sit down to put on my makeup, there it is. It's right there in front of me. So it's a spiritual practice in and of itself, having a vision board right in front of me. Something that's very powerful, something that you may want to do. And the thing I love about this one is that I created it online. I created it out of a document, printed it on a regular piece of paper, framed it so it's not really huge, but it's something really easy to put right in front of me and have it be available. So intentions focused on over time, and actually in each and every moment, become manifest. And so my practice then again for this year was to go within. I dedicated 1 hour of meditation to what is my intention for 2024. And what I got was be a beneficial presence. Well, I kind of thought, well, that was always my intention, but my sense is that by focusing on it, that things will come up. I'll find out ways maybe that I'm out of alignment with that, just like I was with integrity, and then bring myself back into alignment. So it's an opportunity to be honest with oneself, to reflect on how am I aligning with this without shaming yourself or blaming yourself, but just noticing, because remember, we're all growing, expanding, and unfolding and awakening to what it means to be divine beings living in these human bodies. So be gentle with yourselves. It's really important. Be compassionate with yourselves. Ernest Holmes says, trained thought is more powerful than untrained thought. That's what intentions do for us. They help us train our thought to be in a greater direction of that which we choose to be. So if we use the greeting, Grand Rising, every morning to start our day anew, and we use the power of intention, then we are well on our way to a whole new world, which is the next one. Co-creating a whole new world. Since change is a part of the fabric of life, it's inevitable, why not be change agents? Why not assist or participate in the direction of change? That's our responsibility as individualizations of the divine, to consciously co-create our life experience. And we are so much more powerful than we can ever imagine. Anybody ever tune into that? If we're individualizations of God, we are beings that are unlimited. Our word has power. Our thoughts have creative power. We are here for God to represent that divine presence. Wow. I mean, it's really mind-blowing if you take the time to reflect on it. So anything that has come into our lives up to this point, we can shed that. We can let it go, and in this moment, make a decision to co-create a whole new world for ourselves and our planet. The creative process that we embrace was so beautifully demonstrated by Candace when she offered a spiritual mind treatment. If you're new to our teaching, you'll notice that it's very different from maybe the way you were raised, where you prayed to a God outside of yourself. Because this is living in that consciousness that I am an individualization of God. I am that life. And my word has power, it has creation. And so as we make statements of truth, our greatest understanding of God, our understanding of our unity with God, and then declaring it what it is that we choose to manifest, giving thanks that it's already manifested, right? That's very powerful. And then releasing it, truly releasing it to the universal law of divine mind, letting go and letting God, in other words, living in a trust and faith. It's a very, very, very powerful way to live, and it helps to develop oneness consciousness, which we know is this rising in consciousness is that which is being called for on this planet. If you read my greeting in the newsletter this week, you know that there is a book that is recommended for this month. It's called The Four Pivots. It's written by a professor, and he actually belongs to a Center for Spiritual Living out in California. His name is Sean Ginwright. He is someone who has been involved in the social justice movement on the planet for quite a long time, an activist, social justice activist. And he woke up one day and realized that unless he did personal reflection, unless he did the deep inner work, he would be bringing forth his unhealed wounds into his work and into his work as a social justice activist, as a professor, and so on. He has really powerful stories that he shares about those realizations. And so his book is about the inner work is just as important as getting out there and taking action. In fact, it's important for our action to come from that higher consciousness. Well, that sounds familiar, right? Isn't that what we talk about every week here? But the thing that's so powerful is it's getting out into the hands of a wider range of people on our planet, because he's in the whole academic realm and the social justice realm. He's well known in those circles, and he's being interviewed by major TV channels and that sort of thing. So this awakening, this grand rising is taking place, and we each can step into that, recommit to that, and know that our commitment is making a difference. It's making a profound difference, and there are many others out there who are also recommitting to a grand rising, because all the centers for spiritual living all over the planet are doing the same thing that we're doing today. I mean, my talk is going to be a little bit different maybe than some others, but there's a recommitment to this idea that we can co-create a whole new world. What I'd like you to do right now is to turn to someone, and actually not someone, let's say 3 or 4 people in a group, and gather together, and I'd like you to take a moment. If you have an intention, you can share it, an intention for the year. Maybe one will arise in the moment, and then share with each other what you choose to do to bring, what's your spiritual practice? Is it a vision board? Is it affirmations? Is it post-its? Affirmations on post-its? Is it spiritual mind treatment? What is it that you're going to be using spiritual practice to bring that intention into being? So begin, okay? Your intention and how you're going to bring it into being with spiritual practice. Is everybody complete? I have to say I really appreciate your enthusiasm, because I can see it. I can see that you're really engaged in this new year and the new possibilities and potentialities for yourself. So that's very exciting to me. Yay! Yeah, yay us! Lovely. So let's turn within in prayer, giving thanks for the grand rising into awareness of the one light, the one source, the one presence, and the one power. Realizing that with this grand rising, there is a sense of newness in each and every day, a sense of opportunity to set intentions, to revisit our intention for the year, to revisit our intention to always come from a place of connection with spirit. That's first and foremost. And just knowing that we are together truly co-creating a whole new world. A whole new world. A world that works for all. So it is in joy. It is with excited, exhilarated thankfulness that I release this word into the universal law of mind, accepting great good in 2024 for each and every one of us. And let us all accept it with a powerful
Yes! And so it is. It is, it is.